and this is my big sister, Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Well, hey, sissy.
Hello, sister. I'm in Thailand recording this.
Yes, thanks for making time on your vacation to do a podcast recording. That's high commitment.
Well, I think that's kind of the fun part about podcasting is that you can be flexible with it. And also being able to check in from the vacation is kind of cool for our listeners to also experience that as well. So I'm happy to do it.
What's the weather like in Krabi?
Well, it's currently 31 degrees. So here it is 10 a.m. in the morning. So it's 31 degrees. And by 1 o'clock this afternoon, it's going to be 35 degrees. Feels like 38. She's toasty.
She's toasty.
It's just the air is thick.
Humid.
It's humid. Yeah, it's humid.
Okay, well, we want to welcome all of our listeners back to Sister Social Call and say a very special hello to all of our new listeners.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sister Social Call. Thank you for joining us.
I think it's so awesome that you're recording right now from Thailand, and we will do a full Thailand review when you get back because I'm looking forward to your reflections and your detail about all of your experiences. But tonight I really want to focus on tattooing. And for our listeners, that might be a strange subject for us to talk about. But in the first couple of days of Chrissy's vacation in Thailand, she actually went and got herself a Thai tattoo. And we will get to that shortly. But before we do, let's talk about your experience with tattoos. How many tattoos do you have right now?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And do you remember when you got your first one?
I think that I remember getting it. I'm pretty sure that it was a Celtic knot on my right arm. I can't even remember the meaning of it. I got it done at Rising Sun Tattoo. I know that I was under 18 because mom had to sign for me to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my very first one, young and just wanting to be so cool. I've since had that one covered up for no other reason than I got it when I was very young and it was very small on my adult arms and I thought it looked ridiculous. So I got it covered up after me and Ryan split, my ex-husband, and Stacey and I went to Vancouver for a music festival and I'd been following this guy, Jesse Williams is his name. I'd been following him on Instagram and I really loved his style. So I got him to design me something that was Saskatchewan-esque. It's kind of looks watercolory with the line work. So he did up a piece that's Western Prairie Lily and also a sheath of wheat. I think there's a couple of them on there. So that's what covered that one up. So that one was done about 8 years ago. It takes up the top part of my right arm. And then I got a flower done in the middle of my back, which I didn't even know how terrible that actually looked now because I haven't seen it for so long. It's so old. The color's really faded, but I got that done at in Fort Capel when I was working at camp and I drew the flower myself. So that is an oldie as well. I thought if I ever decide I want to get another tattoo, I'll probably get that one maybe like worked on a bit and touched up. And then I don't know. But when they were doing this tattoo here in Thailand, they took some pictures of my back and I was like, oh man, that thing looks terrible. It's so old. So anyway, but whatever. They all have a story. Like I was working at camp and that really reminds me of back then, like, you know, those days and just being young and kind of wild and free. So I have that one. And then I have 3 butterflies that come down my neck, which I also drew. This was a Canmore tattoo, which my friend Mike at that time, he had a friend that was tattooing in Canmore. So we went and got these tattoos together. He got an ant and I got these 3 butterflies and it was a friend of his that was doing them. And I think he might have actually bought that for me for a birthday present. So again, from my life in Canmore, I'll always remember that. They also look a little bit shabby, but still, it's just like that reminds me of a time in my life that is very pivotal in the person that I am. So there's that one. And then I have actually a tattoo on my left arm of me and my dad together. And that was a pretty significant tattoo. The picture that was used was a picture from the day that I told my dad that I needed help when I was in Canmore. At the time that I got it, I'd really like I that was when my dad was showing up in Canmore all the time for me when I really needed him to. And anyways, there's a lot of really deep, meaningful meaning behind that, but mostly it's just a reminder to me that it's close to my heart and that it reminds me of that time in my life and that it was like okay to ask for help. And it's just, it's a forever reminder of the day I changed my life, basically, like that whole time. So that one's like pretty deep and meaningful. It's like really well done. The guy that did it actually was doing like an exchange type thing where he came and tattooed in Canada. And then the guy shop that he was at was going to go back out to Poland. He was going back out there to do a kind of internship out there as well. And so he came into town. He is specialized in these portrait tattoos. Again, like I don't regret any of my tattoos, but I think about the state that I was in when I was making when I got that tattoo. It's like people shouldn't be allowed to be on drugs making these big life decisions. But anyways, and I'm happy for it because it is this constant reminder and I feel, it's very close to my heart. I think about that time when I got it done. I was like, "Oh man, I wasn't in now reflecting back on it, it's like I was not well mentally." But anyways, so yeah, I got that done and that was his specialty. Black and white portraits is very soft. Everywhere I go, well, actually, I've had people recognize that I'm my dad's daughter from the tattoo, and I'm not knowing them. So that's how realistic it looks. Even the other day in the airport here, the local gals were like, "Whoa!" They could hardly speak any English, but they could tell me that they thought it was beautiful. So yeah, it's really well done, and those are my tattoos.
Yeah, I love your butterflies. I think they're really pretty, and I wouldn't have said that they're looking a little shabby, but I think they're beautiful. I love where they're placed, and the portrait of Dad is so well done. It is unbelievable. I think his picture looks so much like him. Yours obviously looks like you, but I think his is just perfection. Even your freckles where they're placed is kind of where Dad has age spots. Like that's so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And your tattoo on your arm that you got on your other arm to cover your Celtic knot, the flowers, the colors are so vibrant. They're just gorgeous. So, and I like being there for that tattoo. That was fun.
Yeah, you were there. That took like I can't remember how many hours. That was a long day as well, like maybe half the day. It was a cool experience for sure. I really love that tattoo. Again, same thing, like, I do always put sunscreen on, but just colored tattoos seem to fade, and they just never look as great as when you first get them done, so you almost have to get them touched up. I was thinking about that. I was like, "Oh, if I ever get out to Vancouver, I'll have to reach out to him and get him to kinda touch it up a bit and, just freshen it up," because, I mean, it's almost been 10 years. Well, it's been 8 years since I got it, I think. That will always be a great memory because that we went to that Skookum Festival and we got to see well, top of my list was Florence and the Machine, so I'll never forget and that was a great sisters trip as well. We had great time there, so but yeah, so they all have a little bit of meaning or like a time. I enjoy getting tattoos to kind of signify a time in my life and or a moment or a trip or whatever. So yeah, those are the ones that I have. So sis, you asked me about my tattoos. Do you have any tattoos that you want to speak out?
I have 0 tattoos, which is pretty rare, I think, these days that people don't have tattoos, any of them. I've just never felt drawn to having a tattoo. I'm not scared of the pain. My heart has never been like, you need a tattoo. And so it wouldn't be something that I would prioritize money over. I would prioritize a vacation over that, over a body art. Yep. And so it just has never been something that's really spoken strong to me. Does that mean I will never have a tattoo? No. There's no. I may get a tattoo at some point in my life, but you never know. I'm not ruling them out. I think they're beautiful, but I just have never felt like the need for myself. So, yeah, that is a very obvious thing that Christy and I are very different on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's more rare to find people without tattoos nowadays than it is to find people with tattoos. Everywhere I go, there's people do have tattoos. It's just Yeah, it used to be a little bit more rare, but now it's just super common and everybody kind of has them. And for whatever reason, honestly, and I'm a believer, you don't need to have a reason to have a tattoo. You don't need to have some big, long, convoluted reasons. Art. If you something speaks to you, throw it on your body if you want to, kind of thing. And I very much feel that way. Something I've
Mhm.
felt a bit of a desire to get is a compass. And I don't know why.
Ooh.
I just like the other day I was just sitting, maybe it was even yesterday or the day before, maybe I don't even know. But I was like, oh, it'd be sweet to get like a compass put on your body, like the directions of the world. And for many ways, anyways, I just thought about it and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And so something like that where it just kind of drops into you, it's like, oh yeah, like I would have no problem being like before I come home going somewhere and be like, can you drop a tattoo of a compass on me? I don't think too much about it, but I know that for many people, if you don't have one, it's a bit more of something. But now that I've got tattoos, it's like, oh, what's another one? I would never cover my whole body because I do really believe the human skin itself is very beautiful. And so if I didn't have any tattoos by this point in my life, I probably wouldn't go and get them.
Our sister-in-law has lots of tattoos. Her sister is a tattoo artist. Um, and so we're surrounded by this art, and it's just part of our life. And there's zero judgment about, because I know that it can be frowned upon in some cultures to have tattoos, but we're surrounded by it, and we're totally accepting of it. It just, for me, hasn't been part of something that I've wanted. But yeah, I think it's totally reasonable that people would want to express themselves in that form, in that manner.
Absolutely.
At the top of the podcast, I mentioned that Chrissy got a tattoo in one of her first couple days of her trip in Thailand. And so, before you went, you told me that the artist decide what and where you will get a tattoo in ceremony. This is absolutely wild to me, Sissy, but I want you to take the listeners through this whole ceremony that you were part of and how they came to the decision of what they were going to tattoo on you and what the tattoo symbolized.
Throughout all my investigative work of Thailand, when I was planning my trip, I looked on social media, online, just wherever to try to find as much information about where I may possibly want to go, what I might possibly want to do. And in that research, along came these sacred Yantra tattoos, which for people of our um, vintage, you would probably most likely be able to relate or understand what that is by Angelina Jolie has them on her back. I think, well, actually, I know for a fact that Ed Sheeran, he went to the same place that I went to get this tattoo. Anyways, there's people that have them. If you want to relate to something to understand what it is, I'll probably share a picture on our social media of what I got now that we're doing this podcast. But anyway, so this kind of came up and I was like, well, I want to look more into this. I still can't think of the word to describe the trip. But anyways, I thought I looked more into the sacred yantra tattooing and I thought, oh my gosh, like I think that would be the most amazing way to end my trip. I think that'd be a really great way to like have this memory of Thailand. And it's a spiritual type ceremony, which over the last few years have really started to dive deeper into my own personal spirituality, I would say. So I thought, oh, this could be kind of cool. So I looked more into it to understanding exactly what it was. And essentially, it's a traditional practice from thousands of years ago where they would tattoo these sacred symbols onto people it as a form of protection. And so I thought, well, what better thing than to get one of these when I'm about to go home? Essentially, you go in and you would well, for me, this is what happened. I'll start there because I can't speak for everywhere, but I went in and they essentially they have masters. So a monk or a master would provide this tattoo for you. So I was supposed to get this before I came home. And then I got a message saying there is a spiritual celebration that is going to be happening on the 8th and 9th. And they'd have to move my tattoo to the 10th. And I said, well, unfortunately, that doesn't work for me because I'm flying back to Canada that day. So I was almost thinking, like, well, this is the universe telling me that I shouldn't get this. Cause it did cross my mind. I was like, should I actually do this? Like, at first, I was very, like, it dropped in that I should do it. And then I had a moment of second guessing myself. But the whole idea behind this trip is to trust myself and to relearn that part of me, like, trust myself and trust my decisions and not second guess myself. So I said to them, I leave on the 10th. I said, however, I will be in Bangkok 25th till the 27th. So I sent them a message back letting them know that I would, in fact, be in Bangkok these days. So I thought if it works out, then great. Then it's meant to be. And if it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be. And that's my sign from the universe. So I let them know the dates that I would be there, and I have no plans. Like, I have nothing scheduled. I just kind of plan, like, I have a rough idea. So they got back to me and said, actually, they could do it on the 26th of February, which was the second day of me being in Thailand. Oh my gosh, here 2 days in, I'm going to be going to get this tattoo. You can't get it sunburnt, you can't go in the water, and I'm thinking, "Is this the smartest thing for me to be doing?" And anyways, but I was like, "Well, I'm going to let the universe guide me on this one." And so I said, "Sure, let's move it to that day." And yeah, so you get there and you tell them what is going on in your life, what you want this tattoo to mean, represent, what you want it for. But the idea is that it's meant for protection and guidance and wisdom. That's the whole meaning of these tattoos. Each tattoo can mean something very different, but they all have similar symbols in them. So if you see them, they will all look quite similar because they are traditional tattoos that they've used for many, many years. So, but you can tell them what's going on in your life and what you're hoping for in your future, what your intentions are, all of that stuff. And then the master will decide on, or the monk will decide on what they think will be good for you at that point in your life and and moving forward. I just kind of said I'm in a big life change, but I'm here to, like, on this trip to kind of like rediscover what it's truly important to me in my life, to trust myself. I just kind of explained kind of what's been going on in my life. And so they decided on the 5-line diamond shaped sacred yantra tattoo for me. And so, and they said I could have had some say in it, but that wasn't what I wanted. I was like, no, the traditional, because some people will go there and tell them exactly what they want. But I wanted this to be ceremonial. Like, that's what I wanted it for. So they decided that would be what they would tattoo on me. Um, in the center of the tattoo down the middle, it's like 5 lines. So there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 lines in the shape of a diamond. And in the very center is a symbol that represents the Buddha. I- In this tattoo, it's like bright, clean, light, find the light, calming, to be patient. And then above it is the sun and the moon, which represents balance in your life. There's the lines, which are meant the different lines are meant for guidance, and then there's, a flower, the fan symbol, and that is to, move negativity through you and blow it away from you, essentially, and to attract kindness, love, and good fortune. There's 5 characters underneath the Buddha, and that is basically there to it's like, be a good person in all the things that you do in your life. Go through life being a good person. There's the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the monk, and the teachings that are also in that. And same thing. It's all about being a good person, to not be greedy, to enjoy the little things in life, to appreciate the small things. It's a tattoo for protection, and then, represents all of those really great things. So you give them an offering when you get there, which is like your payment. You give them offering and then they have it prepared bowl of incense and offering, like food, and they have a bowl that you give to the master as part of your payment. And that's how it started, the tattoo. And then there was prayer. And then they did the tattoo, and it did not take long. They have people helping, and I had a translator. I paid for a translator because I did not want to like, I wanted to know. I have an entire video of them telling me what each symbol means, and so that I can, understand everything about it because they tell you before they told me before I went in what I was gonna be getting, but it's a little overwhelming, it's hard to remember everything, so I actually got him to do a video explaining everything to me because it was a lot, like, there's a lot of things happening there all at once, and then afterwards, they or sprinkle water on you or whole water with like natural oils and herbs in it, and they sprinkle that on your tattoo. They finish it with gold leaf on the top, which the gold leaf is which covers the majority of the temples, like any gold on any of the temples. That is gold leaf on everything. And so they say if you put gold leaf in the Buddha's hand, that will give you financial free stability. And if you put it on the head, then it is um knowledge. So they put it on you at the end of your tattoo so that that the tattoo will bring you both in your life. So they finish that off, and then there's prayer. There's the water, and then there's prayer, and then you go outside and you take an offering to the shrine, incense, and you pray some more there. And then there's a whole thing full of these red ribbons that you can write your intention on and tie it there and leave it there.
Mm.
That was a whole thing. It's a business and it's a spiritual practice. So it was kind of interesting, I'm not gonna lie, but it's frickin' Bangkok, Thailand, and it was the most I felt rich experience I could ever possibly experience in Bangkok, Thailand. And so then I got thinking about it because the whole idea, the tattoos are to provide you protection. And so I thought that it actually was quite divine that I got it right when I started my trip. So before I really went on to do anything, I actually was like, I think because when I was talking to Stacey the other night, I said, it's just crazy how everything has just worked out so perfectly on this trip. Everything is just flowed along so divinely, I'm going to say. So perhaps getting this tattoo before the trip was not perhaps. It was exactly what was meant to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What kind of tool did they use to tattoo you, sis? Did they use like a professional tool, like a little mechanic, or was it like more traditional needle, wooden handle kind of
But yeah,
piece?
I forgot to mention that. This is like a traditional hand poked tattoo. So it's a long I would say steel handle with a needle on the end of it, which is dipped into ink, and then mixed. The ink is mixed with herbs and oils, natural oils, and then they hand poke it. It's hand poked into your skin. It didn't hurt, other than when they were going over a mole or something, but otherwise it did not hurt. Like I've had way more painful tattoos. The cover up tattoo hurt way more. The whole entire time you get the tattoo, you are to I forget what the 3 words are, but essentially it's takes you into a state of meditation while you're getting the tattoo so that you're not really focused on the pain, you're just focused on the chant that you're doing over and over again.
Were there other people there? Were there other people at getting tattoos?
It was so busy. And then it's like their low season. There was 2 people finishing when I got there. And then actually when I was in the ashram getting tattooed, I was by myself, other than with the master and the 2 helpers and my translator. And then when I finished, there was 2 people from BC that were coming in and another gentleman. I'm not too sure where he was from. And then there was somebody just leaving when I got there. They, on average, will do like 20 to 30 tattoos a day. But there's not just one master, there's a few. So yeah, it was a whole thing.
What were the helpers doing
They pull your skin. They, like, stretch your skin
to
out
make it
so that
taut?
they're taut. Yeah, so there's one on each side of you that, like, pulls you like, they're pulling your skin so that they can tattoo into your skin, like that your skin that's tight.
I was wondering if they were there to pray or to help you with pain. I was just curious about that, but they were there to make your skin tight.
That's what their job was. That's what the 2 helpers on each side, yeah.
Okay.
It was a very cool
Fascinating.
experience. Yeah, it was very fascinating.
Yeah, when you sent your picture of it, like the detail is so, I find it's gentle or fine for a tattoo. Like first thing that it looked like to me was a chandelier because of the shape
Yeah.
of it and the daintiness, I guess, of the cursive movement of the lines. Like it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and it takes up to 2 months for the ink to fully kind of expand, so it to look more full. Because if you look up close, you can really see, like, the pokes, but eventually it'll blend better because the ink will spread under my skin a bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's very pretty. It's
Thank you so much, sis, for sharing that experience.
well, no problem. That's just one of the many cool Thailand experiences that I have. That one's very meaningful, though, definitely. It was just like one of those things where you just think, yeah, this is exactly what's supposed to be happening in my life right now. That's so good. So good. A story to tell.
Mhm.
And I'll be protected. Very much have felt
Mhm.
that this entire trip. I've felt it deeply, actually. So, yes, I've done a lot of talking. Should we get into our peaks, pits, and plans?
Yes, we definitely should. I'll start with my peaks, pits, and plans this week since Chrissy talked so much about her tattoos. Pits. I don't have any. That's great. Well, maybe that you're away, but like I'm happy for you. But it's not really a pit. I just miss you. Peaks. I did a Nuno scarf felting class at the Cranbrook Art Center on the weekend, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed the process of taking the roving and laying it out on a silk scarf and wetting. It was quite labor intensive, this making of this Nuno silk scarf. There was a lot of rolling involved to get the wool to go through the silk base piece. And so there's lots of rolling involved. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but it turned out to be quite beautiful. And yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. This is part of my 2026 goals that we talked about, is that I was going to schedule an artist date with myself each month. So this was my February artist date, and I'm very happy of what I created. This week was filled with lots of lovely things too. I had lunch with a friend. I went for a walk with a friend tonight. Went for a soak at the hot springs with friends last week. Like, it's just been fabulous, awesome. Just, just living life in the mountains. The weather is glorious, like springtime out here. So it feels so good to see the sunshine. I don't even feel like I have seasonal affective disorder. Like, I don't feel like I'm one of those people. But man, when you feel that first spring sunshine and that warmth again, it is so good for the soul. And then for plans, I am headed back to Victoria next week. I am going out there for work. And so I leave on Monday and I come back on Friday. So I got a full week, almost a full week on the island. I got a haircut scheduled for Saturday. So I'm happy that that lined up really well before I go back to work to have a fresh new hairdo. And then I don't know, I just got some small like errands to do around town. I want to take some gifts for coworkers. I have a couple birthday girls. Like to get them some small things. And then something I like to do, I started this about when I just first started working at my job. It's something called mugging. So I fill up a coffee mug with treats and a note that says, "You've been mugged." And it's just something to make people's day a little bit brighter. And then I ask them to mug somebody else. The mugs don't get very far. So it's like me mugging people. Sometimes they make it to another person, but like I just buy funny mugs from the thrift store or seasonal mugs. I got some St. Patrick Day mugs and I'm going to fill them up with green candy and like coins, chocolate coins. And yeah, anyways, so I just want to do like a couple of things around the house this weekend and then hit the road on Monday and go to where it's truly spring, where the flowers are blooming and the grasses are green. So that's it for me, friends. What about you, Sissy? I know you got tons of peaks, pits, and plans being in Thailand, but we're going to do a whole review. So you'll have to just really maybe save some of the details for that episode.
I have no pits. Obviously, I'm in Thailand, so there's 0 pits from this girl's side of life. Peaks. I'm in Thailand, for Pete's sake. There's just an endless amount of peaks that have happened. When you travel by yourself, you have a lot of hours in the day. So the amount of things I've shared, little blips of things that I've done on my trip, but I have crammed. I have been to temples, I've been to art galleries, I've been to art shows, I've been to coffee shops, I've been to an elephant sanctuary. I'll tell you guys all about them when I'm back from Thailand. My plans tonight, I'm going to a cooking class, a Thai cooking class. I'm very excited about that. I might rent a scooter for the day to go check out some different beaches, but everybody drives on the opposite side of the road here, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. And otherwise, I am here for a few more days, just beach bumming. So whatever I get up to, there's a national park I want to check out. It's just beach life right now. Reading, relaxing. This is my recharge time. Anyways, as per usual, if you guys like this episode, make sure that you share it with your friends, family, loved ones. If you guys want to follow Sister Social Call, you can do that on Instagram. Stacey is on Facebook, LinkedIn. I myself, Krista, am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I think that's going to wrap it up for us, sis.
Love you, sissy. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Love you too.